Hey guys, today I want to talk about how when someone judges you, it defines them and not you. I have been made fun of my entire life. I have been called everything under the book. I remember I think it was around 4th or 5th grade, I had a 3rd grader making fun of me every day. I still remember, I was in like those straight lines as kids, and I'd have him on the other side of the hallway making fun of me because I looked different. And I always let it get to me. Always let stuff get to me. And it didn't stop there. In 5th grade, I had this boy tell me that I am what he sees in his nightmares. All because I had a crush on him and he didn't like me. And I don't think he understood how far that actually continued with me. It stayed in my head since 5th grade, and I'm now 23. Now it doesn't bug me like it used to, but it's just crazy what kids and people will tell you, not knowing how far it can follow you. And words are powerful, whether they're good or bad. They're so powerful. And in middle school, it was all of it. It was so bad. I was nonstop bullied because my hair, At one point, it grew in, I had a full head of hair, but the thing is that it was very thin, very brittle, and very broom-like textured. So, I didn't look like, a white girl who had white girl hair. And in my family, it's very dominant genetic of alopecia. We all have AA. And the hair texture is very normal in my family. But, some of my cousins had really thick hair, and their hair was still brittle and, broom-like texture. But, when I was little, I never knew what it was called. I never knew I had alopecia. Because at the time, my hair wasn't falling out. I had no bald spots, no nothing. And even though my doctor told me it was alopecia, I was in denial. I didn't believe her. I was like, my hair doesn't fall out. I don't have bald spots. I don't have alopecia. That's crazy. And it took me a long time to come to acceptance that I do have alopecia. I have AA. And the bullying really affected me for a really long time. I always let it get to me. Everything everyone ever said about me, it always got to me. I never knew how to fully cope with it. I never knew how to brush it off my shoulders, because I just wanted to be normal. Normal, because there's really no such thing as normal. I just wanted to fit in. I just wanted to be loved for who I am, but I could never be who I was because people were so mean. And I hated that. I hated that I ruined a lot of my childhood focused on what people thought about me, and focused on, because in 8th grade is when, a lot of my hair did fall out. And a lot of it, it was not growing back. Because once I lost it, in 7th or 8th grade is when I lost a big patch on top of my head. It was traumatizing for me. I lost myself in my mental health that I didn't even know I was suffering with. And so, at the time I got, weaves and wigs, and when I got it, I felt so pretty. I was like, yes, I finally have normal hair. I finally have hair. Even though it's not my hair, it's still on my head and it's still my hair, And it was never good enough for any of the kids. It was never, ever, ever good enough for anybody I ever went to school with, anybody I ever encountered with. It was never good enough for them because they still had something to say, and I didn't understand at the time why they were so mean to me. I didn't understand when someone bullies you, there's something about you that they lack. There's something about you that you're shining bright. There's qualities that you have that they don't have, and they're jealous of it. And I never understood that at the time. I just thought, wow, am I really that different? Am I really not lovable? Nah, that was not the case, because you are lovable, and you are enough, and you will always be enough. So don't ever let the bullies and the words that they say linger too far into your mind, and do not let it do what it did to me, because y'all are perfect. And I want to tell y'all that because y'all are perfect. I never had that support system growing up. You know, I had friends, but I didn't have friends who understood where I was coming from, because they had the full head of hair. They had the soft, thick hair. They had everything that I wanted. You know, I didn't have eyebrows. Like, they're there, but they're so thin and they're so light you don't see them. So everyone thought I was a cancer patient. Like, I had my 8th grade teacher ask me, you know, why was I missing so much class? I was missing class because of therapy. I was in therapy at the time, but the teacher took it as I was in chemo sessions, and he told the whole class I was missing school because I was in my chemo sessions. And it's just one thing after another, it was nonstop, so nonstop, and it sucked because I went years in a chronic major depression. My social anxiety was so bad, like my OCD got terrible, because once my anxiety acts up and once I'm in this manic depression, I can't get out of it. And it really sucked because I wasted so many years, and I do not want none of you to waste your years, because, you know, bullies will never let up. I always kept to myself. I was always quiet. I didn't speak up in class. I was the teacher's pet. Sorry, I can't talk. And it was just crazy. I kept to myself. I was a loner. Like, I didn't cause trouble. Like, I didn't want to be the center of attention. I didn't, because I knew as soon as I would be the center of attention, someone would say something. And I've heard it all, you know? You do hear it all, and sometimes it gets old. Like, is that all you can come up with? But what I didn't understand at the time is when someone is judging you, it defines their character. What they say about you is not defining you. Now, they can call you bald, they can call you ugly, everything like under the book, but that does not define who you are. Just because they have their opinion and their perspective is different than yours does not mean that's who you are. It's not. And you shouldn't believe anything they ever tell you, because you're awesome in your own way. We're all awesome in our own way. It's just that we're different, and no one likes different. They don't know how to cope with different because they have their own idea of what normal should be. It's not okay. It's not. And don't let anyone ever break your smile. Smiling is the best medicine because it tricks your brain into actually thinking you're happy. And even though it sounds crazy, because, why would I force myself to smile? I don't want to fake it. You're not faking it. You're just tricking your brain into thinking you're actually happy, and it's crazy, but smiling and laughter is going to get you out of that funk. And believe it or not, and whether they deny it or not, they're jealous of you. There's something about you that they're jealous of. So when they're jealous, they have to put you in this little box. They have to put you in this little box and talk about you, because they like the attention they get from other people when they do talk about you. But it doesn't define you. No, it doesn't define you at all, and I want you guys to understand that, because it took me so many years to understand that. And when they lack what you have, it tears them apart, because they know that they'll never be you. But that's their twisted thing into thinking, oh, well, they have all these good qualities that I don't have. But they don't understand that they have their own qualities, and you have your own qualities, and that just makes you who you are. And if more people accepted everyone for who they are and stop judging and stop putting people down and stop trying to put everyone in this little box of what you think everyone should be, we would all be much happier. And I know it's hard. Goodness, I've spent so many years crying myself to sleep, so many years making sure I cover up these spots. Like right now, I have these little red dots. They're like, I call them my bad hairs, because a hair tries to grow in the root or something. It just doesn't grow in correctly, and it gets infected sometimes if I don't get it. I know it sounds gross, and I don't tell many people that. But I have to pop them, and I have to get the bad hair out, because the hair either has no root or the root didn't grow in correctly. And they give me the worst headaches ever, but I spent so many years covering up my bald spots, because people are mean. They don't leave personal questions. to themselves. They have to ask strangers personal questions because curiosity killed the cat, and they like have to know. Even though they don't care about you, they don't know who you are, they don't even know your name, but they'll ask you if you have cancer, they'll ask you what's wrong with your hair, they'll ask you a million things just because they want to know. And I hate that. I hate that everyone has to be put on the spot because there's something about you that they don't understand, and that's not okay. It's not. Because so what? You're different. And I know a lot of people don't like being called different, but I'm different. And I love being different. I don't look the same as everyone else, but that's okay. You know? Who cares? Because when someone judges you, remember, it defines their character. It's defining them. Just because they have something negative to say about you does not mean it's true. It does not mean that that's who you are. So you have to believe it. You have to believe me when I tell you that you are perfect and that you are enough. Because just because someone has something bad to say does not mean it's true. You have to understand that, okay? Do not spend your years crying. Do not spend your years, with a broken smile because they're mean. No. Smile through it and shine through it because they're going to hate it. They're going to hate that you're doing something that makes you happy. They're going to be mad because you're thriving and you're shining brighter than you have ever shined before. Do not give up. Do not let them have that satisfaction of breaking you, because you're a warrior. You're fighting alopecia, or you're fighting mental illness. Whatever you're dealing with, you're getting through it every single day. And if you don't think you are, you woke up today. You're breathing. It might be a hard day, but you're still here. And you have to know that when you're dealing with stuff and you think it's the end of the world, because it really does feel like the end of the world, just know that you're here for a reason. And just because all the bad stuff is happening to you right now, because, there's this saying that goes, there's no good happening to you because you're the good that needs to happen to someone else. And it's true, because throughout my darkest of years, I was always there for other people. I was always helping other people. I was making sure they were happy, they were smiling. I was the good that needed to happen to other people. Even though I was broken and I was sad and I felt really damaged, because at the time I was, and that's okay, because I got better. That's all that matters. As long as you're able to pull through, no matter how long it takes you, it can take you months, weeks, years, whatever. As long as you get to the other side of that struggle, that's all that matters. So, please remember, you are perfect. You're beautiful, you're handsome, you're awesome. And even though you don't see it right now, you are enough, and you will always be enough, okay? So, thank you for listening. I know it's a long video. My attention span is short, so I don't like long videos either. But if you made it this far, thank you. You are enough.